Hey y'all, it's September the 18th, 2017, fairly late in the morning. I wanted to talk to y'all real quick, just give y'all another update. Maybe you've been keeping up with this whole St. Louis riots thing that they've been having for 3 days now. Alright, you probably heard about it, you probably understand that they're protesting the wrongful death of a thug criminal. Is he a human being? Yeah, he is. Alright. What did he have a very long criminal record? Of course he did. Right? People are protesting a thug criminal who literally tried to run over the police before being shot to death. Alright? And like I said, they're calling it a protest, and it's a funny little trick that they're playing. They're not fooling anybody. Or, I mean, they're not fooling anyone who is more than half a retard. Alright? What they're saying is that it's protest. Obviously, it's not protest. And they're noting a pattern that each day that this goes on, hopefully there's not a fourth day, but each day that this goes on and takes place in St. Louis, it starts off in the beginning of the day, and this is people advocating for this movement. They'll be like, well, it starts off in the beginning of the day as a peaceful protest, you see? So they're obviously trying to have peaceful protests of this thug criminal being shot by a police officer after he tried to run over police officers. You know, people advocating for it might say, well, this started out as a peaceful protest every day. Here's what I gotta explain. It never, not for 1 second, was a peaceful protest, obviously. I mean, if you didn't know that about after day 1, you're going to know it after day 2. There isn't going to be a day 3, and yet still there was a day 3. Alright? Because you'll see a pattern. These peaceful protests, somehow when it gets dark and it starts hitting about dusk, criminality starts popping off. Guess what? It's a riot then. Here's what I got to explain to anybody who's not completely upside down in their retardation, is that the people who are rioting at night, they're planning and scheming and plotting how to do so during the day. That's what you're calling peaceful protests. It's a meeting place where they gather together and figure out how to just create carnage around St. Louis, right? And so you already know, there's victims involved here. A lot of people have been arrested, to the tune of at least 80 people have been arrested. All sort of cops have gotten injured. There's been cops that got their jaw broke. There's been cops who went to the hospital. There's been other cops who were injured and opted not to go to the hospital. There's people. This is a riot, right? And it's funny because there is all sort of advocates for this riotous, retarded behavior, to include actually victims of the riotous behavior. They're also advocating for it and making excuses for it. I've heard victims and criminals alike involved in this situation say, hey, listen, this is more than just broken windows and property that's all messed up. These are people, we're talking about people who lost their lives. Yes, you are. You're talking about one specific person. He appeared to be a criminal. He appeared to be running over the police with his car. This is who you're advocating for. Oh, we're losing lives out here. Alright, so somehow it's justified to be breaking all sort of people's property. Alright, let's take 1 second to take it all in and to really dwell upon what in the damn world are these people even talking about. Think about this. Imagine you were to hold a peaceful protest. You and a few hundred of your friends wanted to hold a peaceful protest. Alright, you're obviously advocating for somebody. You're obviously taking up for something. Alright, so it would be safe to assume that these folks, what they're protesting against is the killing of a black fella by the police for any reason at all. What they're basically protesting is that the police, if they have black skin, should not kill a black skinned person for any possible reason. Now, you can shoot, the police can shoot white people, they can shoot Chinese people, they can shoot Hispanic people, they can shoot all sort of elderly people, and I'm not saying that happens all the time, but it has happened. They can shoot any number of people, and it does not matter at all. There will not be a protest / riot over it. Alright, but if they are to shoot a black fella for any reason, and it does not matter, they could be trying to run them over with a car, does not matter. You taking that fella very gently, very lightly, and you consider his civil rights when he's trying to run y'all over. And another thing you'll hear advocates saying is out there on the internet for everybody to see, is you'll hear them say, oh, well, you know, this police officer, he was caught on tape, he was caught on videotape before he got to the scene where he killed that guy, saying, oh gosh, I'm gonna kill that guy if I get him. Alright, so everybody's saying, well, you know, this is kind of premeditated. He was out like a pit bull in the night, just trying to find whatever he could to murder. But completely disregarding the fact is that if someone tried to run you over, and it doesn't matter who you are, somebody tried literally to run you over with a car, or maybe your colleagues, chances are while you're chasing him down the damn street, you might utter some words like, I'm gonna kill this motherfucker, dude. I mean, he's wilding out. Everybody's lives is at risk right now, and we're having to chase this dude. Alright? He's all sort of dangerous. You might let it slip out of your mouth, I'm gonna kill this motherfucker. Dude, we can't afford him out here. So, these are the only things that you'll hear an advocate for these protests even bring up, because there's nothing else for them to bring up. They're defending what you might call the lowest of the low. The people in these protests / riots is what they are. The people out here participating in all that, you know what I'm saying? They're basically advocating for the lowest of the low. And yes, he is a human being who died, and that's unfortunate. The lowest of the low in St. Louis. That's who they're advocating for. You got to understand, most people in St. Louis, just to reiterate and drive it on home, most people in St. Louis don't give a damn about this guy who died, right? Not at all. In fact, probably feel better off now that he's gone. Unfortunately. This is not my opinion. This is actually just straight up statistical, numerical fact. Most of the people in St. Louis couldn't give a damn about that person. And I don't blame them. Alright? It's none of their business. So, obviously, this is a situation, just like I said, where people are getting bussed in. People are coming in from out of town. People are getting paid, just like the situation before, and the situation before that, and the situation before that. All the people paying these people need to see a jail. In fact, need to see the underside of the jail. Alright? Immediately. We need laws that say this sort of thing, because these people are getting arrested and causing all sort of violence. There is no end game to the protest when you think about it. Alright, so let's imagine the protests are legitimate. Let's imagine that. Alright? What is your end game? Like I said, the only end game could be to make some sort of law where police can't shoot anybody with black skin for any reason at all. You understand that you're never going to get that. Thereby your protests are not legitimate. You do not have demands. You're out here breaking stuff like damn dirty monkeys. Savage barbarians, in fact. Alright? That's what y'all are doing out here. Alright? And you're parading around with all sort of excuses, patting yourself on the back as though this is an absurd, over the top, unacceptable retardation. That's what people are doing. It's a great big old divide, by the way. Balls deep up in it. It's a tribulation. September the 18th, 2017. How long will this riot take place? We're about to find out.